Hi guys, welcome to week 4, lesson 2, last topic for algebra. So for this one, we are looking at beginning factorising algebraic expressions. So basically, we're undoing what we have done previously with expanding. So the learning intention of this lesson is to be able to identify a highest common factor of 2 or more terms, and to understand what it means to write an expression in factorised form. So by the end of this, hopefully you can identify the highest common factor and factorise using an expression using the highest common factor. So let's just do some notes. So factorising is the reverse of expanding. To do this, we need to find the highest common factor. Which I'm going to refer to as the HCF from now on. And so find the highest common factor and divide each term by it. So just remember, a term can be anything like plus 2, could be 3x, x squared, minus 3, minus 2x, anything like that. And it's an individual part of the expression that we're dealing with. So when we do it, we're going to end up with our highest common factor outside our brackets, and then our expression, our divided terms inside the brackets. So for example, if I were to quickly do, we've got 3x plus 9. If I were to factorise this, looking at this, my highest common factor is going to be 3, because I can divide by 3. Okay, so I would go 3x divided by 3. So outside my brackets, I'm going to put my 3 because that's what I'm dividing by. 3x divided by 3 will just give us x. I'm going to put plus, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. That's basically what the factorising is. So the good news is that when you're doing your finding your highest common factor, there are 2 little tricks to know whether your highest common factor is a number, like this one, or it sometimes may be a variable. So we'll just put that as a note there. Can be. So it can be a number, a variable, or both. So sometimes it can be something like, so when I say that, it could be 3, could be x, or it could be 3x. That's what I mean. So, to know whether it's going to be a number, to know it's going to be a high number one, we're going to look for expressions that have only one variable. Sorry, my baby lovebirds are being fed right now. So for example, for this, you could have an expression like 3x plus 12. Or you could have something like 5x plus 30. So if you notice, in both of these, They only have one variable right here, that plain x. But you've got two lots of numbers. So if I were to factorise my 3x plus 12, I would look and go, my highest common factor. My highest common factor is going to be 3. And the reason I know it'll be 3 is because I can divide 3 evenly into both of these. So if I put 3 outside my brackets, like that, 3x divided by 3 is just going to be x, plus 12 divided by 3 is 4, and bam, factorised. And we're only ever going to have once for this stage with a single lot of brackets. We're not factorising double brackets. So let's also expand our factorise 5x plus 30. So if I look here, my highest common factor is going to be 5 because both can be divided by 5 nice and even. Okay, so 5 outside my brackets. 5x divided by 5 will just be x, plus 30 divided by 5 is 6. So when you've got a number is your highest common factor, that's what you're going to notice is you are going to have only one variable, one letter in your expression. Now if we have, because they're mean, a variable highest common factor, you are going to look for two terms with a variable. And one of those terms is most likely going to be squared. Okay, so for example of looking at a pair of them, we are going to have x squared plus 4x. And then we've got another one. This one's a bit of a combination of both. We're going to have 2x squared minus 10x. So the first one here, if you look, we've got x squared and we've got an x here. So we've got two variables. The same over here, x squared and 10x. Now the first one is just a plain old variable as the common factor. So your highest common factor is going to be x. And the big giveaway is because there's no number in front of the x. So you're just going to divide by x. So if I go x squared divided by x, that's just going to give me x. So I'm going to put a plus there. And then 4x divided by x is just going to give me 4. Okay, so that one is pretty much how you go. And if you're not sure you're doing it right, you just expand. So if I go x times x, I'm going to get x squared. If I go x times 4, I'm going to get 4x. Okay, so that's how you double check whether you've done it right or not. Now this one here, the highest common, so the 2x squared minus 10x. Our highest common factor, because they were really mean, is both a number and a variable. Because if you look, we've got 2x squared minus 10x. And you can divide that 2 into both things evenly. Now let's say that was a 9x, it would just be a plain variable. But it's a 10. So our highest common factor is going to be 2x. Okay, so I'm going to put my 2x outside my brackets, like that. So then if I go 2x squared divided by 2x, that's just going to leave me with one plain old x. I'm going to put a minus, because that's what's up here. Now we go 10x divided by 2x. Now 10 divided by 2 is 5. Alright, and x divided by x is just 1. So that is as far as it goes. So then we do another check. Just do a quick check to make sure we've done it right. 2x times x will give us 2x squared. Put our minus. 2x times 5 will give us, so 2 times 5 is 10. And the x at the end. So if you see, that's been expanded quite nicely. So let's do some proper examples. So let's do just working out what the highest common factor is first. Okay, so our first one, we're going to have 6a and 8ab. So if we look at this, I'm going to look at it and I go, okay, what number can go into both 6 and 8 nicely? Because obviously 6 can't go into 8 evenly. So I look and I go, yep, 2. That 2 is about the highest because we can't go 8 divided by 3. And we can't go divided by 4 because it doesn't go into 6. So we're going to have 2. So our number highest common factor is going to be 2. Alright, the other thing we got to look is there anything else these both have in common? If you look, they both have an A. So that means we're going to have an A with it as well. So that leaves our highest common factor as 2A. And that's your answer. So then if we do a second one, so we've got B, we've got 3x squared and 6xy. So looking at this, what number can go into both 3 and 6? Well, 3, because we can divide 3 by 3, and we can go 6 divided by 3. So our highest common factor number part is going to be 3. Now, is there anything else these have in common? Yes, they both have an x. So I'm going to put an x there. Okay? And the big giveaway that we were going to have it is that we have the squared there. So we knew we were going to be timesing by another x at least. So that is the answer for that. So now let's go to a second example. So we're going to factorise the following. Okay, so our first one is a little bit evil because it's round a different way to what we're used to. We're going to have 40 take away 16b. And our second one is going to be negative 8x squared minus 12x. So let's do our first one. So looking at this, we can tell that we're only going to have a number as our highest common factor because there's only one letter in there. Only one letter. So now we're going to look and go, what number can go into both of these? So I'm looking at this and going, well, I can divide by 2, but we can go higher. And we can divide by 4. Yep. But can we still go higher? Yes. Now we can divide by 8. So if you go 16 divided by 8, you're going to get 2. And if you go 40 divided by 8, you're going to get 5. So what we end up with is our highest common factor is 8. So if we go put 8 outside our brackets, we go 40 divided by 8 is 5. Put our minus because that's what's there. And 16 divided by 8 is 2. So we end up with 2b. And that one is done. Okay. I'm so sorry if my birds are too noisy. So looking at our second example, if we notice, we've got an x in both of them. So we know our highest common factor. Oi! Shush! Our highest common factor is going to have an x in it. Now the other thing we've got to look at is what other number is going to go into both of them. So we can have 2 will go into both. We can't do 3. 3 will go into 12 but not 8. Can we go higher? Yep. 4. So 4 can go into both quite nicely, actually. So that means we're going to have 4. Now there's one other thing to look at in this, is that notice how they both have a minus there? That means our highest common factor is also going to have a negative out the front. Now if we didn't have a minus out front of the 8x squared, it would just be positive 4x. Okay, but because that's got a minus there, we know our number outside will have that negative. So outside our brackets, we're going to have negative 4x. Alright, now 8 divided by 4 is 2. Because it's x squared, we know we're going to have an x. We're going to have plus. The reason why plus is because we will have a positive times a negative will give us a negative answer. If this had been a plus here, that would have been a positive there, and that would be a minus. Okay, so now we go, okay, what is 12 divided by 4? It is 3. Now, because it's not x squared, it's just going to end with 3. And bam, it is done. So now I'm going to give you a try yourself. Really recommend emailing me your answers before starting on the work to save frustration. So we've got 4x and 10xy, find the highest common factor, and 5x squared and 15xy. So remember to look for those little patterns that come up. So then your second try yourself question to do will be a factorise. That's our first one and our second one. So our first one is also going to be similarly either one in different order. And then we've got another one with a negative, similar to the one in the example I did before. Alright, so try yourself, email them to me. So if you forgot what my email is, it is there you go, without the dot at the end. Alright, so good luck. Always ask for help if you get stuck.